are getting back into it with the LAS-7 Dagger. So I think today we're going to go ahead and finish up this part and maybe start on the yellow barrel there. So one thing we definitely need to do is start closing up the spaces under here. So hiding the handle again with H. I'm going to go into object mode and then tab to enter edit mode. And I think we'll make that recess for the handle. Let's get that back. And we already made the measurements to be 0.5 millimeters under. So this handle should fit snugly in there. So I think these two can go together. Not quite at that measurement. Let's draw this out with a G, Y. And since I got snap on, I'm going to snap it to this vertex down here just to stretch it back out. And I think that's 0.5. So let's draw this out with E. I'm going to extrude G, Y, snap that onto there. So we got that midway point. And thinking, do we want anything over here? Because as is, the barrel is going to basically be sitting on top of this, and we'll use this surface area to glue everything together. And even though this isn't that big, it's kind of thick. So I'm debating whether to put like maybe some steel rods to go from here to help support it. Maybe a piece of PVC pipe. Hmm. Hmm. Also trying to think what would be easier for people, because I'd like other people to be able to print this pretty easily as well. And we could always print just like a PVC rod to go from here to here to help support it, but I usually like using like steel and PVC pipe because they're a lot more durable and they're pretty cheap. So, maybe... Let's see how wide this is first. Alright, first off, I'm gonna just seal this up. That's the first thing that needs to happen anyway. I'll take these edges, and then we'll hit F, form our face. Then let's hide this once more. Hide the trigger too with H. And we need to seal off everything inside here. And that is the very edge. Let's see how this is. Is that on the same plane as that? It does appear so. So that's good. So we can start sealing this up. Let me turn off X-ray mode and auto merge. I think that'll make this a little easier. And I don't actually think we need this edge or this vertice. Or these two edges either. Well, actually, we might need that one. Wait, which one was that? This one. Okay, so we don't need this one. Let's get rid of that edge. Try to eliminate some of the internal geometry here. And might not need this or these bits. clean that up some. That actually attaches to that, so we might want those. Alright, in any case, let's... Well, that's... Those were on the same level. I don't think we want that, though. So when we print it, there's going to be, like, no thickness right there. So let's go ahead and push this outward just a bit with GY. And then we'll go from... Let's turn off snap. GY. And let's go to... maybe 3... That was... What is this? 3.82, which is not much. But even then, let's go to 2.8. That way we leave about a millimeter of area here for this to kind of build on. Alright. So we can subdivide this. Let's turn off the mirror here, just so we can see in here a little better. Let's turn off Y. I don't have to do all this juggling. And let's get this GX, and oh, let's turn snap back on, GX, we'll snap that over here, and then we'll connect these two and create a face right here. With these edges, should be good. I think this, this, and then we need some way back here. This will be floating a bit, which I don't think we want. So I'm going to go into X-ray mode, and I'm going to pull all this back, maybe a millimeter. I'm going to use the 79.6 measurement there, and GX, and then I'm going to go back, let's say to 81. There. Wait. Control Z. Let's put a point here as a reference. Snap that over there. And gather these again. Deselecting that. And then GX, and then we'll pull it back to 80. Wait, what was it? 81, maybe 82. To give us a little room, so when the handle is slotted up in here, this will have some space to it. We got that going, but the handle only comes up to this, so anything above that line is this part, so that shouldn't interfere with the handle at all. So let's extrude this part over here, and then we'll close up there. I don't think we really need this anymore. And then we'll pull this out to the middle, if it's not already there, with GY. And then this should go down here. Oh no, because that was pulled out. So that should actually go straight down. So we'll snap it down here, these guys. And then this can be closed up, I think. These faces, close that up. This should be nice and flat. And then we got this. So I pulled that out, so this should just be, just pull it out, G, X, it's flat face here. And I think here. No, I'm trying to make sure there's not too much internal geometry. Because that can get the printers confused, and then we'll just have to go back and do this anyway. So we might as well try to do it right the first time. And I think we can close this up now. Boop. So that is that enclosure, and the handle should fit nicely in there. Okay, ideally it would fit nicely in there. I thought we gave it that 0.5 millimeters of room. We did, right? Why is this so far back? Maybe I already planned for this seating area? Does look okay. Why did I make such a big step here, though? Because it's not poking out, really. I might have already predicted that I would need to do that to have that seating there. Hit, yep. Go in this window, hit period. Ah, I got that selected, no wonder. Okay. Okay, we really don't need all this room back here. I think that was what I predicted I would need, which is why I set it back like this, but in actuality, we didn't actually need all of that. So we can pull it forward, but now this part's gonna hit there. Okay, so maybe the issue was with this face, and what are we doing there? What was that? What was that? A very weird face. Maybe I already undid it. Okay. So that part goes down here. Like that. And then let's snap this over here. And then we want to give it 0.5 millimeters. Oh my gosh, that's going to be only 0.5 millimeters from 1.6. So let's, yeah, go back 0.5 mil. Is that supposed to sit over that crescent though? Let's get this other view. Boop. It doesn't look like it would block it. It's not supposed to block it. So this should not be this low over here. Is what I'm seeing. And this whole area should be going inward. GX. Then I'm going to pull it back 0.5 millimeters. 0.6. Just give it a tiny bit of wiggle room. And then we go up. So this should actually be, this edge should be more like back here. Let's line it up with here with GX. Let's get rid of that. I could put a face here. That way this area is kind of a block. And since it's mirrored, we don't really need to put a face on the side, but like something's missing. Let's get that mirror back on there. Hide. Yeah, we're definitely missing some face. So this, I think, will be this face here. I think that might do it. So you have a little seat there for the handle, and that's all right. This is going to be an awkward part to print. I think we're going to end up printing on this face. And we'll just have to pull out the support. Since this is inside, the support shouldn't be too visible. So it should be okay. We'll have some support in here. And a little in here as well. But it should be relatively minimal. And I think... Oh, no, 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 no. We still have the power thing, the cooling cell, and that switch over here on this side. But I think that's at least this face, because I don't think there's anything else on this face that we need to worry. Oh, maybe the screw, but that's also not a mirrored piece. And also, about this screw over here, I was thinking maybe this should be big and we should have like a tube going across here. Because even though this isn't really going to be load bearing, I think mostly it's just going to keep these bits straight on, kind of like guiding pegs. But I don't really trust its strength because of the way it's been divided. And we're going to slip a screw in there, and I kind of want some more guidance for it because I don't really want to see this threading of the screw, just the head sticking out the back. So to that end, I think what we'll do is take these two circles and Shift D to duplicate, and then let's go to individual origins as our pivot point, and then we'll scale them up. And they should stay flat and on that axis, which they are, so that's good. And I don't know how wide these are now, but we're going to have to get rid of these faces. And we'll put them back onto these bigger circles. Let's go into circle select with C and Shift, left click to deselect those. I'm going to Shift left click, click on those, go into edge mode because we don't want this, and then hit F to put a face on that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Deselect, deselect, F. And then gather up these guys. Oop, get this one too. Then edge mode, get rid of that. F. And then we can bridge these edge loops. Just selecting those, right click, bridge edge loop. Alright, so that's that outer one. Now we still got this inner one. And I feel like this internal geometry is going to be a little bit of a problem. My brain is farting out and I can't think of what I'm supposed to do here. So we got that. I think we need another wall between those two. So let's bridge these edge loops now. So now we have a solid hole going through. Then we have that. And those faces are all on the other side, so that might actually be all. That might actually be it. Alright, so now, let's see how big these are. Let's get rid of those edge loops there. And it's really hard to see. But let's figure out how wide this is, because we might not need to do anything. That's 1 millimeter. That should be okay. Should be okay. It's not load bearing, it's just there to hide the screws threading. So that should be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, so next, since we're done, I think, with all the mirrorable stuff, we'll go ahead and go over here to this little arrow and apply. So now that arrow modifier is gone and this whole thing is mirrored. So now we can mess with both sides individually. So with that gone, let's go ahead and get this screw, this guy here. So I'm going to, that's kind of awkward. Um, I'm thinking if we should print the screw individually as its own thing and just stick it through a hole. Because if we print it like this, with this face down, it's going to want to print support all the way over down here for that screw. And that would kind of suck. I want to get as little support as possible. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, these aren't merged. So I'm going to hit A to select all, mesh, clean up, merge by distance. And then I'm going to go to 0.01 to be really precise. We still got the same amount of vertices, so that should merge all these center vertices that we did with our the application of our mirror modifier. So next we're going to go into X-ray mode, and I think I'm going to just model this screw individually. First we're going to put a hole in it, hole in this piece. So let's say we can use, I'm going to go into object mode, so this circle is its own thing, because this is going to be a cutter. Say 5 millimeters. And then we'll rotate along the x-axis with R and then X. And then we'll shrink it down a little bit. Set period to zoom in on that. I'm going to drag it out with GY. And then with the this upper part here in edit mode, we're going to control left click to get that red, and then we're going to use mesh, knife project, cut through. So we want a hole going all the way through this bit. And it did not peek over that, so that's good. And let's get rid of these edges so we can make our hole. And then we could, whoops, we can select these edge loops and then go into edges mode with 2, right click, bridge edge loops. And now we have our screw hole. And now this will have to be 0.5 millimeters thinner so it can actually fit in there. So where are we? Let's go to median point and then shrink it down to 9.5. Maybe 9.4, just to make sure it fits. And super glue will hold that in place, so that shouldn't be an issue. And then I guess we will turn this into the screw rather than doing anything else. Let's look at this screw here. So we'll push it over here because it's going to not be able to get any further than that, really. And that actually should be fine. Let's even move it back a little bit. Then I'm going to extrude with E, and then right click G, Y, And we'll put the other end over here. I'm going to hit face to seal up that face. And, whoop, and then gets a little fancy over here. Let's go E to extrude. So I widened it just a little bit. We're going to pull it out. Maybe a little more, maybe a little further. Then I create a flat area with G, with extrude, and then GY again. And then we'll extrude again. Let's stretch this out even more. GY, moving it on up. Then we'll extrude again. And put it a little further out. And see if we got a good shot of that head. It's kind of rounded. I don't know if it's a plus or a it's neither. It's like a minus with an I in the middle, which is interesting. So in order to do that, it's kind of rounded. So I'm going to extrude inward a bit. Then we're gonna let's take off snap, and then GY, and then I'm gonna fill that face in. Then what we're gonna do is bevel a little bit to kind of give it that roundness. I'm going to bevel this also just a tiny bit. Just maybe just one. And then to get that shape, let's Shift A. We'll put up a plane, and then we will shrink said plane. Say 5 millimeters to start. Maybe 7, 9, full 10. And I'm going to rotate on the x-axis with R and then X. And then let's go into edit mode. Oop, that's kind of far in. GY to drag it out. And then let's shrink. Actually, maybe we'll turn it into a diamond like so, rotating it 45 degrees. And then we'll shrink it to make that eye first. And we'll go into edit mode, vertices mode, right click, let's bevel the vertices because it's slightly rounded, I think. And maybe we can even try to make these even as possible. About there. About there, that'll be fine. And then we will, let's remove the face and then get all these and then extrude. I guess I could have poked face, but that's okay. And now we have these going, and we have the face over here. And then I'm going to take these two, and we're on median point, so I'm going to hit extrude, right click, and then S for scale, and then X, and then we'll drag it out a bit, like so. I think that's about the shape we're going for. I'll click on those vertices and bevel them just a little bit. I don't know what kind of screwdriver this is, but alright. Okay, so now that we have that, we can knife project that onto our screw. So with the screw in edit mode and then control left clicking or control right clicking on that shape to get it red, then we'll knife project, not cut through. So we just want it on the very surface. Then we'll just hide that for now. We might need it in case I screwed something up. And let's hit E to extrude, and then I'm going to right click GY. Okay, and then we got that going down, and then let's pull this back up to turning snap on, GY, and now we have our eye. I mean, this is so small, we're probably not even going to see the details, but It matters. It matters. Alright, 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 alright. So that is the screw. Now the tricky part is gonna be this power cell or cooling cell. Where to even begin with this beast? You know what? Maybe we'll take up that task next time. I think we've accomplished a fair amount today. So until next time.